Last time on
Marvel versus DC Comics. What I am comparing and contrasting is the different avenues that both DC and Marvel Comics have integrated in, not just their comics, but their TV shows, their movies, and I'm seeing how they stack up against each other. I have to give it to DC, but only because I feel that the animated shows and movies that have come from the animated shows are the best DC storytelling and way that they have presented the characters. So for me, that's kind of who I think of when I think of Superman, when I think of Batman, when I think of Wonder Woman. So the animated shows are what I hold on to and why I think that they are a little bit superior to the Marvel animated universe.
This week, we will be comparing Marvel versus DC animated movies.
This is your warning that a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about, including the comics, movies, and TV shows, will contain spoilers, and of course, these are all my opinions and the things that I grew up on, so there's going to be a little bit of nostalgia bias as well. So, DC's animated films were ones that stood because a lot of them were based on the TV series as well as just retelling stories from the comics in a different way, but still very good. So some of the notable ones are Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Sub-Zero, that one I watched a ton. Also, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, that one, so good. It brings back all of the original voice actors, including Mark Hamill reprising his role as the Joker. And it's a really dark, kind of tragic backstory for one of the Robins, unfortunately, and something that is a good alternate universe timeline. I don't count it as canon because I love my Robins too much to have them turn out that the way it did. Some other really cool ones was Batman Gotham Knight, which was 6 short stories about Batman that were done by different Japanese animators, which of course you combine anime and comics and it's just like, so that was really cool too to see, and their interpretations of the bat suit, how it would look, and just a really neat interpretation of that. Some other really good ones, they did do Justice League New Frontier, which was a really neat comic book, different style, and it was, I think, in the 50s, and just an interesting story and origin story of the Justice League that way. They had some really notable origin story movies as well, including Wonder Woman and Green Lantern First Flight. Those ones had really notable voice actors. That was really cool, as well as the animation was really nice. Some hardcore, more PG-13 kind of storytelling, which was nice, but still had like the heart and humor that is that what you want. And again, this is the type of storytelling that I like so much better than the live action storytellings that they've been doing. Another one that is a favorite of my sister and mine is Justice League Doom. This one was a collaboration, not a collaboration, but bringing back all of the original voice actors from the Justice League and putting it into a movie and dealing with what would happen if Batman's contingency plans, well, this is based off of, is it the Tower of Babel? I think it's what it's called, the comic. This is Batman has contingency plans for all of the superheroes if they turn rogue. Understandably so, he is Batman, but someone gets access to it, and then all of these villains use those weaknesses against them, and you think, oh man, this is when they're going to die, but of course our heroes end up on top. And again, they have a lot of the original voice actors from Justice League, Superman, and Batman animated series, which just makes it really fun. We cannot talk about Marvel animated movies without talking about Into the Spider-Verse. The best superhero film ever. Not just like talking about Marvel, but like over DC too. Like it's the animation and making it look like it's come straight out of a comic with like the textures and And only with that animation style did it work to bring in like an anime Spider-Man and the black and white Spider-Man and Spider-Ham, who is a like 2D cartoon. Like it was so, I think I need to do like a separate video just talking about Into the Spider-Verse because it's so good. But yes, so they get like 1 billion points for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse themselves. Some other notable animated movies that I watched, especially like growing up: Ultimate Avengers. Those were pretty good. There was Hulk Versus, which was very fun. It was like a DVD where you get 2 DVDs, I think. One was Hulk versus Thor, and then one was Hulk versus Wolverine. And the one with Wolverine, Deadpool just takes the show and steals it. Deadpool steals the show, and it's hilarious. It's gritty. They're only, I think, like 30 minutes long, so it's more of like a short, but it was super fun to see how both characters dealt with Hulk, and especially with Wolverine's healing abilities, and they could just go to town and keep fighting. There was also Next Avengers, which was a universe where Ultron took over and defeated all of the Avengers. Before he defeated all the Avengers, they had kids. So this was the story of their kids and being raised by the only surviving Avenger, Iron Man, because of course Ultron has a soft spot for Iron Man because it's his father. And dealing with that. The animation was really neat. I liked that. And the storytelling was interesting and a neat way of showing kind of what the next generation would look like. And them defeating Ultron was probably the biggest stretch, but they had help. They had help because Vision also was alive, now that I think about it. It's been a while since I've seen it. Another one was Planet Hulk, which that comic that's a good one too. I did read that. And them converting it into a movie, I thought they did a really good job on. There were notable changes in the cathedral, in the Colosseum. Instead of Hulk having to fight the Silver Surfer, he fights Beta Ray Bill, who just was, I had never heard of Beta Ray Bill before, and that introduction in Planet Hulk made me really intrigued by Beta Ray Bill, and just the interpretation and the guy who voiced him, it was awesome. So that one is a really good one too. So I am excited to, I mean, if they are on the track of Into the Spider-Verse and this another one is coming out, like, I'm ready. When it comes to animated movies, again, both have put out some really good movies, especially Into the Spider-Verse. For that alone, I think that Marvel is a bit superior on the animated movies. While there are some fun ones that I didn't get to note for DC, which were newer ones like Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that one was surprisingly hilarious and just like more of, it was still had that grittiness. Like this whole fight between Batman and Shredder was awesome. But there was still really silliness and like laugh out loud moments that I really enjoyed. But then there were also, I don't know what they were thinking with Batman Ninja. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But I think overall, I'm going to have to give the animated movies to Marvel only because of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Like it just should be its own category because it is the best animated, the best superhero movie. Live action or animated. Thanks again for watching another rendition of Marvel vs. DC and comparing the animated movies. Next will be live action TV shows. So thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.